One of the things I use to measure performance of a dividend investment, outside of just looking at financials, fundamentals, I'll pull up dividend realreturns.com and I'll chart it out on that. And year to date, something like Psec on this chart is down over 32%. This is including dividends reinvested. So even with dividends reinvested, it's down over 32%. Now, if you look at the exponential chart, if you include dividends, it's gone up over time. But you have these severe pullbacks, and then you look at the historical performance, annual returns over time. There's a lot of bloody red within this holding. And so it's not relative to the market. Like if I was going to pull something up like SPY and see this much red, then I'd be thinking we're in a bear market since 2022, and that hasn't been the case. But Psec obviously has been in a bear market since 2024. Well, I guess if the bear market's over 20%, then maybe not. But anyway, you can see there's like severe double-digit pullbacks in its history, pretty large-size corrections and pullbacks. And that much red is a warning sign to me over time. So I don't know if it's a mismanaged company or what, but there's better companies I could track. So, like for example, if I was going to compare this against the S&P 500 by using SPY, one of the more popular ETFs for the S&P 500, you see a big difference in performance year to date. It's up 18%. So if you're not tracking close to the index, you're just bleeding money. You're better off buying an index fund. And you can see the exponential chart, the way SPY trades. Look at that's the blue line. Red line is Psec. So I want to be at least matching the index pretty closely in any sort of investment. And if I'm not, then I'm underperforming. So if you look at investment in the same time frame as Psec and SPY, yeah, $10,000 investment in SPY be worth $93,000 currently, and $10,000 investment in Psec is only worth 18,500 something. So you're underperforming in that time period. So why chase dividends on things that underperform the market? So that's I want to see a performance that's going to track pretty well to the S&P 500. Because if I can't at least match the S&P 500, it's almost pointless to be an investment. And you can see what's happened in these last few years with Psec. It's had down years ever since 2022, whereas SPY has had 3 up years in the last 4 years. We all know why 2022 it was down relative to what was happening with interest rates. So if you look at that green you see with the S&P 500, I mean, you had some bad years going way back to the 2000 dot-com bubble, but everything was massively selling off during that time period. But if you compare it from the inception date in 2004 at Psec, there's a whole lot more uptime than there is with something like a Psec. So that's how I compare things, generally speaking. I'll look at how they perform against the index that I could just throw in money passively and hope for the best over time. And generally speaking, looking at that chart for SPY, you're going to do pretty well if you got time on your side. All right, guys, take care.